Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. Check it out. Check it out. You're checking me out today. I said I wasn't going to be here, but I am here. AEW had to adjust some stuff for Media Day, so no go with any interviews, at least today. We'll see how tomorrow develops, but I'm happy to be with everybody here today. And we'll talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw. We'll talk a little bit of other news going on as well. But let's first say hi to some folks in the chat here. We got Triple E saying, "What's up? What's up?" Gray Ellen says, "Hello, R&I. What's TK's big announcement?" Yes, what is TK's big announcement? I saw that there's a report of maybe a potential spoiler of what that is, but I'm not sure what it is. I haven't looked. Jeff Henniger says, "Wait a minute, I thought there was no R&I today. What a pleasant surprise." Yeah, there was originally no plans. But there's plans now. Wrestling Alert says, "Glad there's a show today with the best producer in the business, Mr. Dom, and the best community chat on YouTube. Good day all." Thanks so much for the kind words, Wrestling Old Head. Man, I tell you what. Yeah, I have never, ever been called out like I was on the Cornette show. Man, Brian Last has it out for me. I don't care for him, and he clearly doesn't care for me. So, look, I think he's insecure, and he's projecting his anger, his insecurities out on me. That's how I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to stand by that. So there we go. And happy to be with everybody here today, and we can talk plenty of wrestling. I just finished watching Monday Night Raw from last night, and I thought my initial thoughts here, and let's see how everybody else feels about this, is that I think from a live product standpoint, it's hot. Like, people there are excited for the stars there. However, I'll say as an all-encompassing show, segment to segment, what they have booked, laid out kind of thing, it's pretty flat for a television show. I do think that said, I think last night's episode was pretty decent. Missing some aspects, obviously. No CM Punk. Cena's obviously not in the mix there. Nothing about Lesnar. We did get Cody, though. And it just felt like a quick pivot. Boom. Hey, we got Crown Jewel now to Perth, Australia. And Seth Rollins. So, like, Rollins coming out and interrupting Cody, going back to their history, looking at what they've been through together in matches and stuff like that, and their rivalry. I thought the segment built to a good crescendo there of what they were doing. And, I kind of like Seth in this kind of more muted role or angry role a little bit. I just don't know, though. Cody feels like a star, okay? Not to take anything away from Seth by any means, but Cody feels like a star. He needs another star to combat with, like big star, to make this feel like a big deal. Now, I get this history. It just feels with Perth, Crown Jewel, this Crown Jewel championship, which really means nothing. It just feels pointless. It feels pointless, and it feels like we're just waiting for another PLE to go down, and we got to get this PLE out of the way. That's what it feels like. We're not looking at Perth to feel like anything is going to be special. It just feels like, hey, we got to go to Australia. Let's make this feel significant. I understand doing that. I get it. But I don't know. You need to do something a little bit more than just a ring and Crown Jewel champion kind of thing. This feels pointless having champion versus champion just because it's on the calendar. And I think that was a bad formula when Vince McMahon was under watch, and I think it's a bad formula right now. It does not feel like it's cool that they're going to Australia. Make it feel really, really cool. Make something significant feel good. But this kind of made me think about like WWE having a major heel problem. Um, I think this was reflective of it. Like Seth is I like Seth and I think he's good, like, and things to that effect, but I just feel that there needs to be more with him. I don't know what it is. I think pairing him with Becky is good. Maybe they're gonna be a good slow build to it, and we just gotta wait it out and feel how this thing. I think this is the pairing with Heyman. Initially, I thought made sense and could bring maybe something out of Seth that we haven't seen before. I'm really hoping that something with Becky here in the mix can do that for Seth even more so. I mean, he's got a great look. I even liked his attire he wore from last night. I thought that was even good, but I just think there's something just not clicking here, and it doesn't feel very significant in regards to what's been going on. Wrestling Holdhead says if WWE does not pivot, we could get one of the most logically booked war games in a long time, aside from Bloodline Civil War, with Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Braun, and Bronson versus CM Punk, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos. I'm sure we could find a way to insert Roman Reigns into that as well. Maybe have Jimmy or Jay be replaced with Roman. Yeah, I mean, that is what's kind of exciting about it. I do like that aspect, and I think that's the course they should take in regards to that. But I wouldn't. I mean, I get I d- putting champion versus champion just to have it on the calendar. I don't think really helps the storyline of that. I mean, I guess it kind of does because Cody and Seth are rekindling their rivalry, so like you can build off of that and move into Survivor Series in that way. So I guess I can kind of take my word back on that. But Trey Owen says they should have done an AEW, do a crown jewel turn. Oh God, winner gets a title shot at Survivor Series. I appreciate the thought of that. I think the only tournament you should have in WWE is King of the Ring. That's it. Like no other tournaments. But I understand. I understand. But they do tournaments. So many tournaments. I love tournaments. I love the King of the Ring. But when you have them all over the place, it doesn't make it anything feel special. I think that's the same thing that goes with these PLEs and these tentpole events now that WWE is really putting a focus on. We just get WrestlePalooza. We're getting WWE in Perth. And now we're going to get Survivor Series, obviously. Those are three big events here within the span of like a short time. Less is more. Less is more, but I understand that you're answering to a lot of different heads here when it comes to your big WWE. I mean, you got Saudi, got Saudi. You have ESPN, and you have Peacock with Saturday Night's Main Event. You have a lot of different people you're answering to here, so or entities. So I get that from a corporate whatever standpoint there, but I don't think things are feeling oversaturated a little bit, and I don't think you have the star power to satiate that at the same time. Uh, let's see. There's many intertwined stories in that war game match. It'd be great, but would WWE even feel the need to do something like that while they're so hot business wise? Um, I think I think they have to answer the fans here in certain ways because so much of what they're doing is not answering to the fans, and I don't mean that from a storytelling maybe necessarily standpoint or a star power or like what fans like from a product standpoint, but you're pricing people out. You're having new platforms where they have to subscribe to another app to get your product. There's a lot of expectations here when it comes to that. You're doing less events that are live events and focusing more so on just the higher price point. What you're doing here, I don't think you need to answer to fans from your on-air product in a lot of ways. Um, so all right, we got some good people pitching. Jeff Henninger says WWE needs at least 10 tournaments a year and about to be about to have be a red robin. I think you mean round robin, maybe 3 of them. Needs at least 3 of them. Give me some clarification on that. I guess I'm kind of confused. I'm just shooting from the hip here with reading the chat. But yeah, I do. I did like the opening segment. I liked the War Raiders and teaming up with Penta against New Day and Grayson Waller. Really fun match. But again, I think they're following this formula. Like, okay, I mean, you're getting another version of New Day versus Penta here, and we've had that for weeks and weeks on end. And I get you're having like a feud here, but this is just a television feud. It's just not so. But I thought the match was great. Like the finish was for that way the Canadian or Mexican destroyer was set up, made the Mexican destroyer actually make sense. So I appreciate the finish there. And yeah, that was very, very cool. Um, Something that's not sticking with me is the Bailey storyline. I like I said last week after Bailey kind of made the save, I think you need to make her this crazy baby face that people like. This conflicted Bailey that is doing heelish stuff is being half pregnant. It's not you're giving gray area here, and I don't think fans are really like, oh gosh, okay, we gotta, you know, I think they want to take more of a solidified ride here when it comes to what Bailey's doing. I like the crazy erratic stuff. It feels very forced. And I think if you kind of just gave her a lane of be crazy, but be a baby face, I think there's more to that than anything else. Uh, Maybe I understand the aspect of hey, you want big female heels, considering you have Stephanie McCour here, who we'll talk about in a second. But then you also, you got Lyra Valkyria, who's a baby face. You got, oh my god, Rhea Ripley. So you have names in the mix there with being baby faces, but like I don't know. I don't think this is the ultimate spot to have Bailey be like this conflicted heel face where she's probably a heel more than anything, but it's just like we're getting this storyline that just kind of feels done before. Like, okay, yeah, she's acting like it just reminds me of the Jericho thing, and I know that's over what 12 years ago, way over than that, where he came back and he was like all happy and not like saying anything, and like he was acting babyface, but he's still a heel. Like, I don't know, I don't think it's setting it up really well here. Um, Wrestling Audit says, in my opinion, AEW has better wrestling than WWE, but weaker stories, and WWE has better stories for the most part. That being said, even with weaker matches, WWE is still a better product overall. I mean, I got to agree with that. I think WWE does have a better presentation of product, and there's a lot of great talent on there. So, um, I think that's true. I agree with you on that. Uh, but like, yeah, this whole thing, when it comes to um, what I guess what I do, and I'm kind of like I'm digging what they're doing with the Judgment Day. To be honest, um, I do think their backstage segments are corny when it comes to like oh the video games in the background and like hey let's take a turn to talk kind of feel it feels very very homogenized in certain ways, and I do think but ultimately like where they're kind of going with it, it seems like what they're turning Finn and JD almost babyface. Who knows? Dom is staying cowardly heel, which I kind of like, and I think that makes sense. So what I like that kind of hey, what's going on with the Judgment Day? I think that is a really intriguing aspect of the program itself. Uh, and Rusev, like just being like the vicious monster makes a lot of sense too. I would give him different music. It just feels so cornball. Like there's just some aspects here that I think that could be tightened up a little bit when it comes to what WWE is presenting for their stars, their superstars, and none aside from like somebody like a Dom or like and like Dom's still on the rise up, obviously, but like Cody just feels like the real big time guy, and like Jey Uso certainly gets a reaction. Everybody gets a really good reaction, I think, but I think Cody is the guy that you have the star power around. And I don't think anybody necessarily has that kind of massive spark that Cody has kind of been able to harness in a lot of ways here. Um, I like that Cody was been the voice of reason kind of throughout the show when it came to Jey Uso too. I like the kind of that segment I did enjoy. I don't know where this is all going to go out with Jey Uso too. Does like from a business, the only thing I can think with the Jey Uso thing is that um maybe what they're doing, they feel confident maybe in trying to channel the same kind of babyface energy that Jay had with his face turn and transition that over onto Jimmy. And maybe they'll feel confident that, hey, let's make another Uso and Jimmy as big as Jay. And Jay will take the heel role in this and will promote Jimmy. Jimmy will get his shot. Maybe they're feeling confident in what maybe Jimmy can present too, because Jimmy's good on the mic too. Jimmy is good on the mic. And so, do I want to see Uso versus Uso again? No, I don't. But you know, I don't. That's the only thing I could think to make the heel turn of Jay make sense if that's what they're deciding to do. Um, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but Stephanie McCour, I liked. I kind of liked the simple. There was almost a sports element to presenting her coming out there and just having her thank the fans, having her thank her father, give a credit to her dad, and even speaking in Spanish too at the same time. And I think doing that once and like then moving on from it is great. I think that adds kind of to, hey, okay, you made a connection here with Stephanie, whether and like sure there's that lost in translation kind of maybe connection that you're making with the American fans, which I'll talk about here in a second when it comes to the Kabuki Warriors. I do think that that was okay for now for Vakor. Now, for moving forward, again, I think she was hamstrung by the aspect of, oh, well, there's going to be a triple threat match on SmackDown that's going to determine who your opponent is at Crown Jewel. So, like, ultimately, would I have liked to see her kind of do something and then you set up to have an opponent already? Yeah, I want a story with Vakor. I want a story and I want something engaging. And right now, it just feels like, hey, we have to dot this I, cross this T. I know I said that wrong, but we got to get through Crown Jewel. And so that's got to be champion versus champion. So I don't know if that sets her up in the right fashion at this moment in time. You're hamstringing your talent here in certain ways by making this gimmick for Crown Jewel. I don't think you needed the gimmick for Crown Jewel at all. You could just have it be a PLE and create some matches. To follow this formula, I don't think is beneficial. Okay, let me talk about Kabuki Wars. That's not good. Like these backstage segments, they do not benefit anybody. It does not benefit Asuka, does not benefit Io Sky, it does not benefit Kerry Zane. Uh, the I understand that they're trying to tell conflict in a story with this, but you have to understand that this is not you. There is the language barrier. There is the character connection barrier you're trying to create. I'm not faulting the talent whatsoever in this. Like, I just don't think it's positioned in the right manner here. You need a mouthpiece for somebody in that. I think you can maybe like Asuka maybe doesn't necessarily need to speak too much, or she can in certain ways, but like you need it, whether it's a heel figure for Asuka and Kerry Zane, or a babyface figure for Io Sky, or both. You need that. This is something they need to solve, because this is channel changing. I know you're on Netflix, but this is channel changing. Like you're gonna switch to the Charlie Sheen documentary instead of this. Like this is not good stuff. Like see, look at I like this. Dre Owens says Blake Monroe. Like, I don't know if you're just talking about her just in general, but I think if you incorporate her like as a heel, it mixed in with the Kabuki Warriors or something, make her the mouthpiece. I think you got something there, but this is not working. And I don't think them doing this week in and week out is beneficial to anybody on this. Wrestling Hold It says Blake Monroe can do wonders on the main roster. And if they let her go full Mariah May, there could be some great stuff there, especially if she tries to mirror Stratton and how she did with Tony Storm. Yeah, that'd be really intriguing, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that necessarily. Dre says Kabuki Warriors team up with Becky and that can be Becky's Braun and Bronson. I like that. Get Becky in there. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Dre. Um, but yeah, that whole thing is not working for me. It's not working for me, and yeah, I don't think that's it's beneficial to the talent involved with that. Um, what I did like, I I enjoyed the LA Knight Jey Uso match. I thought this was LA Knight's best work in the ring uh, that I can make note of. I think he did some solid stuff in there, and I do think there's kind of potential in keeping him a baby face. Now, I did say before, like I would probably have turned him heel over Jey Uso, but it doesn't seem like they're necessarily going in that route. And you could still do it if you want. You could have him turn on Jimmy, and you could have him turn on both, and go attack Jay too, and then you create something there, and have LA Knight join the Vision or whatever you may have do. But I don't know. Like I thought LA Knight did a good job tonight or on Monday. I thought that was fine. Um, what is also fine is feeling confident in what you have with your money. And so there's no uh, there's such a great app that you can use, and that indeed, folks, is the Cash App. Oh, the Cash App. Yep, there it is. There's me and Robert. And there's me and my play. Cash App. Yeah, shout out to Cash App. Something that I get super paranoid about is security in my funds and everything like that in my financial account. And then on top of it too, I'm always worried about overdraft fees and everything like that. So security is key for me. And with Cash App, you can spend, save, and live your life knowing your money is right where you left it, with advanced built-in security protection you can count on, and help when you need it. Spend with peace of mind today and order a Cash App card in the app or at cash.app/card. So, for a limited time, only new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. It's for real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code SECURE10, that's SECURE10, in your profile, and send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Bank services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Instant discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure. So there you go. Yeah, support us with using the Cash App. Okay. Any other big takeaways I want to thought about from Raw? I don't know. I think I just think the I know the product, and like I said, that Evansville crowd was really into the show. So I mean, I think there's potential for things to happen right now. But when you translate that onto the television product, and you have people sit through all these segments and this like kind of just paint by numbers kind of interaction with everybody, in these backstage segments, I don't think that's beneficial to a viewing audience via Netflix. And I mean, people in the crowd too, even though the crowd was hot. I thought the crowd was hot. But WWE's got to kind of like be willing to go off some of the beaten path and think of something a little bit, maybe more creatively when it comes to this holding pattern that they seem to be in with, whether, and I know they might be handcuffed with, what they're doing with their plans with Crown Jewel and all these other entities that they're answering to at the moment. But look, you have to keep your foundation strong, and your foundation is your television product and who's watching. So the adjustments have to be made in certain regards to what I don't think is necessarily sticking on your Netflix show. So they can't just take the easy route here when it's like, well, we're going to have these stars here at Survivor Series, and look forward to Cena's retirement tour here, more so ongoing, and what's coming with that. I think you have to make your on-air product feel a little bit more valuable than what it is currently at the time. Let me see if there's anything else I really want to touch upon today. Somebody mentioned in the chat here, Tony Khan's got teasing a big announcement on Dynamite. That's kind of a wait and see thing here. Tony Khan said big announcements before, and they're not that big. So what's going on here? I don't know. I think I'm seeing if there's some sort of report I can take a look at. I know my old site, WrestleZone, might have something here. I'm always afraid to go to websites because I'm afraid that they're gonna give me ads and audio at the same time. Let's see if I can find anything here. Do you guys want to hear potential spoiler? If you don't, tune out for a little bit here because I'm about to read something. All right, Tony Khan. This is a report. What will Tony Khan's important announcement be this week on AEW Dynamite? Saturday night during AEW All Out, it was announced that Tony Khan would have an important announcement this Wednesday when Dynamite emanates from Pittsburgh, PA. Hey, that's where I'm from. Khan's announcement over the years has been mixed bag. Yeah, like I said, some are very important, some not so much. So tease another one for this week's show. You have to believe it needs to be something important. Yeah, that's what I would lean towards, but who knows? Who knows? According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, most seem to believe the announcement will be women's tag team titles. Ugh. And a tournament to crown the first champions. Ugh. Don't like that second part. Meltzer noted that the titles were made some time ago, but injuries to the women's roster prevented the start of the tournament. Okay, so that does make sense there. If this is the announcement, it should be something that will make plenty of AEW fans happy and give the ever-growing women's division something new to fight for. So that is a positive thing. There's pros and cons to all this, though, at the same time. The tournament, not looking forward to that, if that's potential. I would have maybe like a mini tournament, but I wouldn't even call it a tournament, where you have maybe 4 teams. These 2 matches, this match qualifies, this team advances on this side, boom. So I would not have a huge tournament if you're doing it. But also, I think the women's tag titles are long overdue in AEW. But at the same time, I think there's already too many titles for everybody. Like, so I think the women's tag team titles honestly should have been a title early on before you introduced all these other ones, and you've incorporated ROH, you've incorporated all these other promotions, and their titles all mean something. I would have done this one a lot sooner, probably a couple of years ago. And so I think the title announcement's long overdue. We just got a lot of titles right now. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But of course, a tournament. So Dre Owens, ESPN gives WrestlePalooza a C. Now, let me give a little clarity to some of that too. So it's not ESPN as an entity, but the writer for ESPN, Andreas Hale, who I'm friends with, he wrote the review and he gave his honest review. So Andreas Hale of ESPN gave it a C. ESPN did not give WrestlePalooza a C. And Andres Hale has been getting a lot of hell online for this review. Like, he's been getting so much. And look, I appreciate it. I think that's actually a good thing for ESPN to do that, to allow, to not handcuff Hale into giving some sort of blanketed review that protects what their new acquisition is here. I think giving this forthright thought adds to the aspect of, we are covering this in a fair fashion. And Andres Hale's a professional. He does a great job. And so I appreciate the feedback he gave. And, I don't think he's part of ESPN. He represents ESPN, but ESPN's not giving it the C rating. It's Andres giving it the C rating. And so you got to look at it. Everybody's like, oh, ESPN gave it a C. Well, I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing you have a representative like Andres Hale, a pro, giving that honest, forthright thought. People are kind of criticizing him all about, like, oh, he's an AEW guy. He's like, biased about all his wrestling work. No, I mean, wrestling is a subjective art form, so he's free to give his opinion. Andres is also tight with Big E. So, like, you could make the argument, oh, maybe he's leaning towards it. It's just a stupid kind of assessment, I think. Not saying that what you said, Triple E, was stupid in bringing it up, but I'm just saying in general. But, yes. So that's it. I got to get going. I have another obligation I have to attend to, as a matter of fact. But thank you everybody for tuning in today and giving your good feedback in the chat. And everybody, shout out to everybody in the chat and for tuning in live with me every Monday through Friday here on oh my god, I almost said AEW Ad Free Shows YouTube channel, on Oh You Didn't Know YouTube channel, on the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel. You can also catch us live on our X accounts. That's at Dominic D'Angelo. That's also at WE Creative _ish and at SE Scoops on X. So give us all a follow, give us all some support, and thank you all for the already support that you've given. And I appreciate you all. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And hey, Rocky.